March 2019. I got a hold of a full cage of hungry adult yellow fever mosquitoes to see what would happen if I let them suck my blood.
This is before shock.
Oh, should I take off my ring?
Want me to fit your fingers as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
I didn't
my
even think of
God.
that.
This wasn't a rigorous science experiment, but it was something I had always wondered how my body would handle. Then I've always wanted to do this, and so my goal was to stick in my left hand until all the mosquitoes fed.
So I'm just helping Rob here. I'm just opening up the entryway for his hand to go into the cage.
I also wanted to see what would happen to Jonas. But because one of us had to hold the steering wheel to drive home, we decided he'd take another cage and do it on his back. And I will tell you now, I would never have predicted before how my body actually reacted. Let's pause right there and take you back to where this journey started for me. Kind of excited. I came to Florida to learn about the world's deadliest animal, the mosquito. Yep, that's right, the deadliest. And that's partly because mosquitoes are vectors of pathogens, but more on that later. I'm here to learn as much as I can from mosquito biologist Casey Parker and entomologist Andrea Lucky. We're checking traps this morning, and we did this because there's more than one species of mosquito in Florida, and we wanted to see what's here.
80 different species in Florida.
And over 3,000 worldwide. And of the select few that bother humans, it's only the female that needs a blood meal.
But there are so many mosquitoes around yards like this in people's neighborhoods that are not biting people. They're biting birds, they're biting rodents, they're even eating earthworm blood. But they're not really bothering us.
So there are mosquitoes that are going to cause a nuisance to humans in there and could potentially transmit pathogens as well.
And my goal is to pinpoint one of the deadliest mosquitoes, get them in a cage, and let them suck my blood. Should we just take this to the lab then, and then we'll lay them out and see what we have?
Sure.
So we grabbed the mosquitoes and went back to the University of Florida's Entomology and Nematology department. There we could look under the microscope at the huge array of different mosquitoes. But I kept coming back to this. Does it transmit disease?
This is not a major concern in terms of disease transmission.
And this was the case for most of the mosquitoes. The exceptions, Culex, which transmits West Nile, and a handful of other encephalitic diseases. Anopheles, which can transfer malaria. And this one, the Aedes mosquitoes, which are responsible for dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. All potential problems in the United States. And it was this mosquito, Aedes aegypti, or the yellow fever mosquito, that I decided would be best to let feed on my blood. But if I was going to understand the potential for getting one of these diseases, I first had to understand a bit more about mosquito biology. And fortunately for me, Casey had a colony of these across the hall. How many mosquitoes would you say are in this room right now? Like 2,000 per cage? A lot of mosquitoes in here. That's cool. Okay, so this is the pupae.
Yes.
Whoa, they look so different.
They'll emerge out of this pupal casing and they'll come right out directly into this cage. And so this cage